What's up guys, Cedo Cards here for another video. Probably a shorter one. I mean, judging by the amount of tabs open, maybe not, but probably a shorter one. So today, Worlds dropped, the Worlds bundle. I have some thoughts. It went well, at least for Europe, but we'll discuss that later. But today we'll go through, the Worlds listings. Did I manage to get any? What we're seeing in terms of new sales and other cards found in the wild. So it's quite interesting. But before we get onto the Worlds conversation, someone within the Riftbound Discord shared a useful website, also web app they have created. So this will be able to showcase the total price of each card, show the market against moving cards, for example, the top gainers, losers, so and so. So this will be very good. This is very akin to a similar web app for Pokemon, for example, called Poke.io, which is where effectively they have the total value of each set, as you see here, for 2.4k in terms of dollars, and then they showcase each, the value of each individual card. If I then select each individual card, you can then go to TCG Player, for example, and it will then, you can then follow the sales of each card and so, track the average daily sold and so. So this is very useful for those in Pokemon, as you can go against every set, from the latest Mega Evolution all the way to the very first back in the 1990s. Sorry, it's noise there. Yeah, so in the 1990s. So very useful, and someone has created a similar web app for Riftbound. Of course, it is early days. The total market value for Origins is not 1.4k. As we know, some cards are selling themselves to 1.4k, 1.2k. So this will come with time, as more cards are on the market, as there is more data for these cards, especially from eBay, where, for example, with Pokemon, when you do list a Pokemon card, you can list it by its set, by its numbering in the set. So eBay does a good job of organizing Pokemon cards. You can then track that easily through these websites. Easy to create, to connect a web connector to these and set up a site for that. Riftbound won't have that for some time, but it will come eventually. But again, very good site. I will link this in the description. Just one to save as a bookmark and just hold on to as we go move forward with the release. So anyway, Riftbound, the Worlds bundle released today. Again, it released around 4 p.m. UK time. We're looking at roughly sort of 11 a.m. East Coast and around 9 a.m. West Coast. I would say for the most part it was a successful drop. Initially, the website had issues. I actually couldn't access it initially through my Wi-Fi. So I had to move on to my mobile phone and use the mobile data. That gave me access. A few minutes later, I could again log in, access it on my PC through my Wi-Fi, but initially there were a few hiccups. Immediately, once I placed the item in my cart, it was showing, and it was showing for many people, for me, a £98 shipping fee. For others in different countries, it was varying prices. But essentially, the location string was having an issue, so it wasn't able to pass through the actual location a particular person was in. So, myself, I was getting £98, and people in the US were getting similar amounts in dollars. So it was kind of crazy. Of course, some bit the bullet and just bought it straight away with that shipping, and I was close to. I was going to, because I know I could then reach out to Riot and say, "Hey, refund me." Equally, I'm sure they would eventually refund all of those that did make the purchase with the additional shipping. But I thought, it's safe to, rather than do that, it's safe to just wait a few seconds, because actually I started to see that many people we're able to then have the correct shipping. So I waited a while, refreshed the page, and eventually it became £8 shipping. So I bought one for myself. I bought one for my sister-in-law. As I mentioned, she wanted to get into the TCG, and I'd mentioned the Worlds bundle. So I decided I have a Riot Games account. I can do it for you. I'll purchase it for you. And then I realized there were the limit was 2 per Riot ID. So I decided I'll get myself one. Again, as I mentioned before, I didn't initially really want one, as there isn't too much to showcase here. The Teemo card is cool. The playmat does seem nice, but this is more of a sealed item for myself. And I thought, you know what, if in the future I wanted the Teemo promo, chances are it would cost more than the cost of purchasing this now. So let me just do a safe option and just buy it now. It does come with a few emotes, or not few. It comes with an emote in League and a portal icon. Again, just great things just to slowly start to advertise the game within League of Legends. And as you can see, I have reached the purchase limit. So this will come just before Christmas. So this could be a Christmas gift for someone. Christmas gift for someone that plays League of Legends and you want to get them into the TCG, or just a gift for yourself. Who am I to judge? I don't really buy Christmas gifts anymore. It's kind of past my time. I'll buy it for kids, but adults they can get their own stuff. So yeah, I kind of lost track of another thing I was going to mention. Yeah, let's not worry about it. Let's move forward. So it was successful, the Worlds release. I say that, but in the US, it had sold in 40 minutes. Sold out in 40 minutes, whereas in Europe, I'm pretty sure it is still available. I could be wrong. I can't actually check, as I'm logged in and it says I've reached the purchase limit. If I try to log out, it won't show me if it's in stock. It just says login. So it could be in stock still, but for America, it was out of stock within 40 minutes. So what we are seeing immediately on the secondary market are people purchasing it for double the price, which is unfortunate. But it informs you of the demand for this, because when Arcane dropped, similar numbers, to be honest. We did see listings around £135 initially, in UK, similar in the US. So we are seeing similar numbers. From my understanding, it was roughly $100 in America. So we are seeing sales of 200, and even one crazy sale I saw of 278. TCG player suggests a sale of $400. It's a bit, maybe that was for 2. I didn't really go to check, but we're looking at $200 roughly for this, which is crazy because it has just listed. Quick flips, it's not really my thing, but I'm not to judge. The economy is terrible, so if someone's making a quick flip with League, it's not my place to come to care. So this is fascinating. Is it good or bad? It just highlights the demand for it in for players, particularly in America, where again their supply should have been much larger, and yet it still ran out. So that's one to be aware of for the future, and one that I will track over time. If you missed out on it, I would say get it now. I do know, for example, the Arcane set is currently listed for £250, between £200 and coming to £300, just depending on when you bought it. But someone in the UK Discord has been asking when is a good time to purchase it. Do we think prices would dip? And my suggestion is no. Prices won't dip that much. In fact, it is safer to buy it now as opposed to buying it when it launches, because of course when it launches, it will be people will finally have their hands in it, and then more people will list it onto things like eBay and other sites. But by then, it says it's supposed to be out late 2025, start 2026. By then, it won't be at the price point it is now. Currently it's $230 to $240. By that time, it could be a £400/$ box, and then once it dips a bit, once it's out in the market, it might go down to a $375, $360 mark. It could rise even more. By then, a lot of league players could be in the market at that point, which means then prices are a lot higher than we expect. So I think it's best to just bite the bullet and to purchase it now, and then, you know, worry not so much about the entry point, because if you are someone that likes to hold items for years, you know, whether you got in at £100, $100 or $200, you know, in 5 years time, if it's a considerable amount more, that entry point doesn't matter as much. So it just depends on how long you think you can hold it for. And to that point, it really matters about how attached you are to these items. You know, I have a few items in Pokemon. I grew up in Pokemon, great franchise. It's obviously the largest grossing franchise out there. I like it enough that where I buy an item, I'm happy to have it with me for 5-6 years. Why? Because I have an attachment to it. If I see the product go down in price, I don't care that much. I'm just holding on to it. And it's an interesting, you know, I don't look at it as, you know, I'm not here for investing as such. I like to put money away into things that look nice, that I like to have. Pokemon cards are nice, the boxes are nice, have a nostalgia to them, so I grab it. But someone once told me, you know, put money into things that you like. If I'm trying to store money away, I couldn't, you know, stocks and shares are good, and yes, have stocks and shares, but I don't have as iron hands with stocks and shares as I do in TCG. Why? Because as much as I do understand, you know, the value behind these companies, I just don't attach myself as much to those companies, if you understand what I mean. You know, I get their earnings, I get why they're making money, I get the need in society. However, I don't hold that attachment to it. You know, Facebook, I don't have that attachment to Facebook. I appreciate and understand why it's popular and why it's successful and why the stock is climbing as it is. I don't really have an attachment to it. I haven't used it in forever, you know. So things like Pokemon, I grew up with it. I have an attachment to it. I know that it feels up and down. I know the brand value and the strength of the brand enough so that I don't really care so much, and I trust that it will climb again later. Same thing with League of Legends. I trust that League of Legends will climb very high, so I don't have much to worry myself about with that. So I would say, you know, whether you get in at $189 or you get in at $100, regardless, it is a safe place to put some money in, and we can look at this in a year's time. So if we come back on the, you know, the 28th of October 2026, it will be fun to look at and see where the price is at that point. And you know, maybe you'll laugh a bit at, you know, oh, I joined at $200 as opposed to $100, and you know, you'll be laughing not to the bank, but you'll be happy with your purchase. And again, if you want to put your money out at some point, it's at least what you get back, at least what you paid for, plus inflation, I would imagine. So anyway, that's me rambling about Worlds. Good release. Again, 40 minutes for America was pretty crazy, so maybe not for Americans it may not be a good release. But honestly, Pokemon and other TCGs, we do see this. Things do sell out really quickly for limited edition items. In some cases, people just do lotteries, for example. Some Pokemon listings come in lotteries. So it's a strange market we're in. Okay, so moving on to items that has sold recently. Again, just more the overnumbered and a few other cards. So we're looking at the Ari. So if you guys do remember, there was a bid for the Ari that started around $750. It has ended at 1.3k. Again, this is for the signature version. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I didn't expect it to climb this much. But I think when you start to bid on something, I don't really get the economics around it or the psychology around it. But some people seem to get into a trap when they place a bid, and they want to be that person that, you know, is the winner at the end of the day, even though they are paying an inflated number. I don't understand it. I think I have enough of an ability to detach from things that I would just leave the market, and, you know, I don't need that as much, and the chances are others will come into the market quite quickly. Again, we are still in pre-sale mode because the items came out ahead of launch. No one has booster boxes yet to open. Speaking of that, I have one coming tomorrow, so I will probably make a video tomorrow. So today is the 28th currently, so this will come out on the 29th around 1 p.m. UK time, and, you know, depending on different times, depending on where you are. I should have my booster box by then. I will probably open it on camera and release it probably the next day. Just by the time I get to editing it, it'd be like in the evening time, and then I wouldn't have time. So let's say 29th I get it, 30th it should be on YouTube. So that should be fun. I'll probably open, I'll see, 1 or 2 booster boxes, probably 1 booster box, because 2 booster boxes maybe it might be a very long video. Anyway, I'm rambling. So the RE sold for 1.3k, very successful bid for whoever started it. A bit inflated, but regardless, it's done well. So we see another leasing signature listing. The asking price was 1,200. Forgot to 130 sales. This eventually sold for 1,000. So a bit lower than that initial leasing sale we saw on TCG Player a couple of days ago for 1.2k. This one was for $1,000. Again, still a very high number, more than I thought leasing would go for. But leasing is also a very popular player, one of the most known players in League of Legends. So this doesn't surprise me at all. We then see Misfortune, the non-signature version. Again, one of the ones we were looking at the previous day, just gave a refresh and it did show up as sold. This is the 309 over 298, and this one sold for roughly 180, so a lot less than one would think. Again, this is early days. I do still expect this card to climb, but that's the price we're looking at currently. 180. I see this card as as I mentioned, 250, 260 card, but it will obviously climb over time once we get out of print and so on and so, but that's not for a long time. So yeah. Again, another one of the cards that I was looking at. This is the Misfortune alt art. This is the so there are, and I'll get to it. There are different types of alt arts. There is the full, I call it full art, where the artwork covers the whole page and there is no black banner around it. I'll call this a full art alt art. I'll try to figure out another name for this, but for now, full art alt art. So these, of course, are a lot rarer. This one sold for 90 in the end. This was the best offer, and just the day before that, it had sold for 63. So of course the interest around this card is there. It's a good card. I think we are seeing, and as we go through the cards, I think we are seeing a number of around $75 to be the kind of ground we are looking at for those full art alt arts. That's kind of what we're seeing in terms of the rarity and how many are being pulled. But of course we will see more as the the market opens up and we see more cards coming in. Again, another one of the cards that I was looking at before, the non-signature RE sold for $300. This sounds about right. Again, this is probably the most gorgeous card of the set. Visually stunning. It really captures Ari's nature, or at least it captures Ari's nature, and that more the undertone of effectively the character that Ari is to be. So very gorgeous card. $300 makes sense. We'll probably see probably fluctuation, 330, 270, that kind of space initially until we see movement in the market. That's more or less it for the new cards we have seen that have sold, at least from what I can see on eBay. If you have above $200, $200. Just another one I spotted in the wild. This is the Jinx Overnumbered. So this I expect to be a very popular card, though I reckon it will take some time for it to ramp up. So I will be on the lookout for this to see if it sells. This is currently listed for $244. I think that's a very reasonable price. In my opinion, I think Jinx is a character whose cards will slowly rise in popularity. Obviously League of Legends will be more of a male-dominated space, so I don't expect as many people initially to want to collect Jinx as more people get into the market. A lot more women. We will see more and more people collecting Jinx. Jinx will naturally just rise over time, but Jinx will always be a bit of a slow creeper, in my opinion. So that's just one. Of course, you have the Project K prices, but that's Project K is just a complete rarity. So yeah. So moving back to sales. So we have the RE alt art, but not the full art, just the alt art. This sold for $175. a bit inflated personally, but again, the uniqueness of Riftbound is that every champion has a following and a backing. Obviously, as you know, if you're a League of Legends player, you know that most people end up getting fixated around one or two characters. You know, we have the term one trick pony, where a person will play just one character. I was one of them. You know, I played Morgana when I joined League of Legends in mid. She carried me into Diamond back in 2013, 2014. I started playing Swain, I started playing Echo, but you kind of, people tend to fixate on one character and then just play them more or less most of the time. You have that, and Ari is one of those characters that is very popular. So you will find that there are, you know, pockets of nuanced prices based on each champion. Ari's one of them, very popular. Her cards will always do well. Yasuo's cards will always do well. Yone will always do well. Kai'Sa, Ezreal will do fantastic. Kassadin will do crazy. There's loads of cards that will just absolutely blow things out of proportion. But that's we see here, 175 for this. Again, I think it's a bit inflated, but of course, this is because these are early days, and this is really right now a space where collectors are trying to grab items as soon as they can, because League of Legends fans, as I said, can be a bit degenerate, and they just want to grab things as soon as they can. But you know, it is what it is. Another one, the Omega Squad Teemo. Again, this is a full art, alt art. Again, a great card. This is of course from the Omega Squad skin line. Great card. Honestly, this is just such a sick card. Sold for $8. That's fine. I'm not against the price. It's just a good card. So that's great to see. We have the alt art Teemo. Again, this is the non-full art. This is the banner. It says 45, best offer accepted, but actually we are looking at, you know, more around $30, $40. Again, which is on brand. This is the non-banner. This is easier to get. It's still quite rare to get, but it's easier to get. Then we have the standard full art. I say standard as you notice here, that is 121 out of 298. This isn't an alt art, so this is very common. So this sold for $25. Again, we're just looking at, you know, multiple price ranges, looking at the thousands into the hundreds, into the low items, just to show that there is a market across the whole range of prices. So this one sold for $25. We see this Thousand-Tailed Watcher. This to me looks to be a very useful card in the game. So if you play them, your enemies lose 3 might to a minimum of 1. So a very powerful item in the game. Makes sense that this is sold for a certain amount. So for $30, as people are trying to capture this to get this card for their decks as they play the game. So I do find it interesting. You know, Pokemon definitely doesn't have this. One Piece, not so much. You know, League of Legends is a mixture of Magic the Gathering and Pokemon in terms of its space in the market. You know, Magic Gathering will have very expensive cards that don't really look that nice, but they are very good in the actual TCG game. Pokemon will have cards that are very good in the TCG game, and they will cost pennies. They'll be scraps. But then, of course, they will have cards that are collectibles that are gorgeous and cost thousands, you know. So Riftbound has found itself in that middle space where it has both cards that are very gorgeous as well as cards that are very good for the game, and they both sell for a high price. So I think Riftbound has found themselves in that happy medium, which is, again, a very hard thing to do. So props to the League of Legends team for doing this. And again, I know that Dave, that is the lead creator of Riftbound, has moved over from Magic the Gathering, so he has that experience as well. And of course, the League of Legends team will come with the demand and necessity need for it to be a collectible TCG as well. So again, 2 good teams have come together to create something quite special, at least from what we've seen so far. Then we're seeing a few of the runes. I have a rune with me. In fact, no, I'm not going to go find it. These are quite gorgeous in person. The foiling is quite gorgeous, similar to, I don't know if you can see, here's a Victor card. The foiling is gorgeous on this, and the foiling on these rune cards are very similar. So this was showing as 84.99 with best offer, and actually the best offer was around $30. So we are seeing these alt art runes, you know, similar to $25 here. We are seeing these alt art runes sell for, this one is the body rune, and we're seeing this sell for around $20-$30 as well. So we are seeing the market for these alt art runes. Again, they are very shiny. Similar number here. We're looking for the order rune, about $20 if I remember correctly. Yeah, $20 and $25. So there is a market for these low items as well. Okay, so then I was just looking around for other items that are showing their heads. This is very much a common. This is the Timo 197. Not really much to look at. In fact, these may just be scraps from my earlier searches. We do see again another one of these demolitionist jinx cells. This is again an alt art. This is the 030A. This isn't a full art. I've seen a similar listing for this go for roughly $40. So again, we are seeing fluctuations, but we are seeing a lot of these alt arts enter into the market. Again, the same Timo that we had seen earlier. So we are more or less going to the end. I believe this is just sort of the ending, and as I mentioned, the $44, $45 for demolitionist. But these are more or less just the end items at the end of the video, where I hadn't closed off the last of my research. So again, we see a Kaiser, the champion unit, sell for $50. Again, it's a bit excessive. We are still in a space where it's just collectors trying to grab first items, be the first in the space. It's not necessary. The game is out in literally 3 days. You can then grab what you want at prices that are more reasonable and make more sense, but you can't go wrong. If you're a collector and you have the disposable money, it doesn't matter as much. Again, we see another lucian alt art, go for $35. It's just a great skin line. I think the skin line's been around since like 2015, a long time, but it's a great skin line. And then I wanted to just highlight that I put a filter for less than $10 to $20, and as you can see, there is a market for the lower space as well. Many cards want to collect, and cards that are useful in the game themselves. We are seeing $20. So there is a space for these cheaper cards that you can pull and of course get some of your money back. It makes sense. If you pull a number of these Yasuo cards, you could easily sell these and just get your money back for the booster box you purchased, and then you are out safely, so there's opportunity to play the game without having to break the bank. If you are wise and just sell off what you don't really want, there is a space for that. We have a bunch of Timo promos as well, sitting at £20. But yeah, generally the market has a variety of price points for the rarity of their cards. So that's it. Just again, was going through some of the rarities and things along those lines. So again, just a short, I say a shorter video. It looks like it will be about 26 minutes, but yeah, a good movement in the space. Again, the Worlds bundle to me was a success, but again, that's because I'm in the UK. Americans would say different things, but I still think there is good potential moving forward. You purchase it at $200. Again, in 5 years' time, you wouldn't care if it was $200, because provided the game does well, we could see it in thousands. So who would care at that point? So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. Buy what you can, buy it at the floor it is now, and worry not much about what you have. And again, I will share this website in the bio. That's it from me. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. If you are in the UK Discord, if you're from the UK, check out the UK Discord. I'll put it in the bio. I do plan to do a giveaway of a booster box, either a booster box to one winner, or I split it up into 3 sets of 8 booster packs, and then have 3 winners who each win a booster packs each. I haven't decided yet. Regardless, click the link in the bio. We've done loads of giveaways so far. If you go to the giveaway page, Project K items, the whole Jinx Project K boost trial deck in Chinese, that would be worth a lot of money if they don't sell it in the future. A Chinese booster box, just a number of things just to just to build the hype in the space. And we are at almost 100 people, members, so we just look for the space to grow and grow. So I'm not really trying to sell anything there. I just want people to join and be able to share where they can get stock, so we can all continue to get stock, because Pokemon is crazy. I've stopped really purchasing Pokemon items because it's just so hard to get items, and I'm not trying to play the game of tracking when an item is in stock. I have a few trusted vendors there that I can reach out to when the items are for pre-order. It is still difficult at that point, so it is a crazy space there, so I'm not really in that space anymore. But I've lived League of Legends for, you know, since 2013, so this is one I will, you know, get into the nitty and gritty of. So yeah, anyway, I said it'd be a shorter video. It wasn't. It's probably 30 minutes ish. It is what it is. Cedo cards out, like, comment, subscribe, and catch you on the next one.